The metaverse is no longer the wild west of crypto bros and eager teenagers. Luxury brands are entering the metaverse, and the wealthy have already started spending millions. Today, we're retaking a look at how the rich spent over $3 million in just 3 months in the metaverse. Let's jump in. 3 months ago, Microsoft announced its earnings report for the quarter ending December. In it, the company said that spending in its online environment increased 76% year over year. This might not sound too surprising given the rapid rise of the metaverse. But here's where things get really interesting. CEO Satya Nadella broke down this growth and revealed that spending by high-net-worth individuals rose by over 400%. What exactly are these high-net-worth individuals spending so much money on? That's what we'll find out today. For our list of crazy metaverse purchases, we've compiled data from various sources, including metaverse platforms, NFT marketplaces, and even auction houses. These are the most expensive NFTs ever sold on OpenSea: Bored Ape Yacht Club passes, CryptoPunks, and some even more obscure projects. The total value comes out to a staggering $3.1 million. But before we get to that, let's talk about what you could get with that amount of money in the real world. A Gulfstream private jet costs around $65 million. You could buy one with cash and still have enough left over for a down payment on a penthouse apartment in Manhattan. But let's be honest. If you're spending $3 million, you probably want something a little flashier. Maybe a luxury yacht, like the 151-foot Super Yacht Moto Yacht, or the 131-foot Lena. With all the money left over, you could probably charter another yacht to go on vacation. Or maybe you prefer land to sea. There are plenty of sprawling estates available for under $3 million. Just imagine having your own vineyard in Napa Valley or a ranch in the south of France. And if none of those options sound appealing, maybe you'd rather invest your money in art. Picasso's Les Femmes d'Alger could be yours for $179 million. Or you could opt for something more contemporary, like an Andy Warhol painting. Now let's get back to the video. Before we begin, here's a friendly reminder to hit the like button. It really helps us out. Also, we post content about twice a week. If you don't want to miss any episodes, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. All right, let's meet today's host. Dennis is a 32-year-old entrepreneur who made his fortune in cryptocurrency. Prices ranged from a few thousand to several $100,000. Dennis admired the pieces, but decided to hold off on making any purchases for now. He then visited the Bored Ape Yacht Club, a collection of 888 NFTs that give their owners access to exclusive benefits and events. Each yacht is unique, and there's a whole community of BYC holders who organize cruises and other activities in the metaverse. Dennis really liked the idea of being part of a community, but he couldn't justify spending $300,000 on a digital asset that didn't have much utility beyond bragging rights. So he headed over to CryptoPunks, one of the most popular NFT projects in existence. There, he saw a range of pixelated characters with different traits and backgrounds. Some were rarer than others and could be worth millions of dollars. Dennis wasn't interested in spending that much money, but he did find a punk that he liked and bought it for $138,000. A few weeks later, Dennis was browsing through the NFT marketplace when he came across a piece called Fidenza, which is an on-chain artwork generated by an algorithm. The artwork had been created by Tyler Hobbs, an artist who had gained notoriety for his generative art projects. Fidenza was one of Hobbs's most famous works, and it had been featured in exhibitions at the Museum of Modern Art in New York and the Smithsonian American Art Museum in Washington, D.C. Dennis thought the artwork was beautiful, and he loved the idea of owning a piece of history. So he purchased the NFT for $1.5 million. It was a huge purchase, and Dennis knew that he might regret it. But so far he hasn't, and he's enjoyed showing off his new acquisition to his friends. In fact, he's become so enamored with NFTs that he started collecting other digital assets like domain names and social media handles. Recently, he paid $4 million for the domain name Facebook.com, and he's currently trying to buy the Twitter handle at $48 million. Dennis's story is just one example of how the wealthy are spending money in the metaverse. In fact, there have been a number of high-profile sales in recent months that have shocked the art world and NFT collectors alike. For example, in March, Christie's auction house sold a piece of digital art for $69 million, setting a new record for the sale of a purely digital artwork. The piece was called Every Days, the First 5,000 Days, and it was created by the artist Beeple. It's a collage of images from the internet and everyday life, and it was created over the course of 13 years. Another example is the recent sale of a CryptoPunk NFT for $115 million. CryptoPunks are a collection of 10,000 pixel art characters that live on the Ethereum blockchain. They were created in 2017 by Larva Labs, and they were originally free to claim. Since then, they've become one of the most popular NFT projects in existence. The sale of CryptoPunk 7,804 for $115 million is the highest price ever paid for an NFT. It was purchased by an investor named 0x650D, with the funds provided by an investment firm called Paradigm. In addition to these high-profile sales, there have been a number of other notable purchases in the metaverse. For example, rapper Snoop Dogg recently purchased a piece of virtual real estate in the Sandbox for $450,000. The Sandbox is a virtual world where players can build, explore, and monetize their experiences. Snoop Dogg plans to use his new property to host concerts and other events. Other celebrities who have purchased land in the Sandbox include Paris Hilton, The Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman, and DJ Steve Aoki. The question is, why are the rich spending so much money in the metaverse? There are a number of possible explanations. For one, the metaverse offers a new way to show off one's wealth. In the real world, only a few people can afford to buy luxury goods like yachts and private jets. But in the metaverse, anyone can buy digital assets that signify their wealth. Additionally, the metaverse is still largely unregulated, meaning that prices for items like digital real estate and NFTs are driven by demand alone. This means that prices can skyrocket quickly, leading to a sort of digital gold rush where the rich try to buy up as much virtual property as possible before it becomes too expensive. Finally, the metaverse is still in its early days, meaning that there are a lot of opportunity for investors to get in on the ground floor and make a lot of money. The same thing happened with the internet in the 1990s and the smartphone market in the 2000s. The early adopters of these technologies made a lot of money, and the same thing is happening with the metaverse. In conclusion, the rich are spending $3 million in the metaverse because it's a new way to show off their wealth, because prices are driven by demand, and because there's a lot of opportunity to make money. Whether this trend will continue remains to be seen. But one thing is for sure, the metaverse is quickly becoming a playground for the rich and powerful. If you liked this video, check out our other videos on the metaverse. We have a series called Metaverse Explained that does a deep dive into topics like play-to-earn games and virtual real estate. Another series called Metaverse Millionaires profiles the people who are making millions in the metaverse. We also have a bunch of other videos on topics like NFTs and cryptocurrency. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Thanks for watching.